Yes, we will watch He-Man. The watching of He-Man is what we will do. Into the castle of Podskull. It's manly and cheesy and rad, maybe a bit homoerotic too. He-Man, it was our favorite show. He-Man, let's watch it now that we're old. He-Man.
Okay, welcome back to Castle Podskull. I am Tom, otherwise known as your Professor Xennial, and with me is...
Kevin, aka our resident Orco or Dorco.
Is there a difference between an Orco and a Dorco, or are they kind of the same thing at this
I
point?
kind of feel like they're the same thing. It's like, I love that it's such an 80s trope of like the comic relief that constantly screws shit up. Like, I'm going to do a magic trick for you. I'm going to build you a music box, but I'm going to build it out of fireworks and, dynamite. But somehow, wah-wah, yeah.
That's true. That was a very 80s thing. I mean, we talked about that in a previous week being like a very like Scrappy-Doo kind of thing also, the 70s and 80s thing, but there was always a goofy sidekick. But we're bearing the lead. This is the Castle Podskull podcast in which we talk about He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, but specifically, we are going through and watching all of the episodes of the original He-Man.
Yeah.
And we are going to get right into it because we are only really 2 episodes in. And so we're gonna get started. And our episode for today is Teela's Quest. Teela's Quest. Now, what we do on here is we watch these episodes, and maybe we haven't seen these episodes since we were youngins. Since we were little 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-year-olds, whatever it was. Sitting in the glow of the Saturday morning cartoon or what have you. So we're going to look at these, give them a proper once-over now that we are fans of He-Man and Masters of the Universe. We're going to ask some hard questions about this stuff. We're going to ask, okay, was it manly? Was this episode manly? I mean, it seems like, if it's about He-Man, it should be kind of manly in some way, shape, or form. Was it rad, like in an 80s sense of the definition? Was it like, He-Man has this weird mix of swords and sorcery and lasers and wizards and all that stuff, so that's pretty rad. Did it live up to the hype? Or was it cheesy in that sort of, we just mentioned the Orco, the 80s sidekick way? Yeah. And then we're going to also dig into a couple of the things that He-Man also, in retrospect, leaves us with, which is, we'll talk about the moral of the story, which is always important. But is it in any way homoerotic? And because we have found some that are homoerotic, and is there anything inappropriate today? So far, I don't think we've found anything inappropriate in any of these, but there may be. Oh, and of course, we will decide, is there a figure that we're going to buy? And that figure I am going to make or otherwise repurpose. Make is in serious air quotes. And and we're going to be selling, and I will have that information. But so far, we are selling our original He-Man, and we are selling, for episode 1, we are selling Trapjaw with his bent laser gun, his limp, flaccid laser gun.
His flaccid laser gun.
So we will keep everyone posted as we sell those.
Yeah.
But let's get right into it. What we'll do is the same thing that we did last time. We'll let this video play, and you can kind of hear it along in the background. And we will stop whenever we have something to say. Sound good?
Sounds awesome. I'm excited about this one.
Yeah. Now, had you seen this episode since you were a kid?
I don't think I had seen this in years, because when it got to, like, we've tuned in on, like, who wrote it. Yeah. And when I got to that was the oh my god moment for me, and like a bunch of my notes. I don't want to spoil it until the name comes up, because everybody's excited.
We'll be there in almost a second. For the moment, let's just enjoy our typical opening theme song, Power of Grayskull. And here we go. He has the power.
And you gotta love it. Supercharged, roided up, perfect tan. And the cat. Also, you gotta love how Cringer hates. He's terrified of becoming Battle Cat. Yeah. And every episode is just like, oh god, am I gonna have to turn into the Battle Cat again?
Yeah, we and okay, here we have the sorceress in the intro, and Man at Arms, who are both very big parts of this episode, if I recall.
Yeah.
Okay,
kind of the heart of the episode. Skeletor, does he even? Is he even in this episode? Maybe like 3 seconds?
Yeah, not very much. So, okay,
here we go.
Here's
Paul Dini, ladies and
Teela's
gentlemen.
Quest, written by Paul Dini. Now, for the unenlightened, please tell us who Paul Dini is.
Paul Dini is one of my favorite writers. One of the best cartoons, aside from He-Man, for me growing up, was Batman the Animated Series.
I mean, probably one of the best, top 5 animated series of all time.
Absolutely.
Like, I can't think of one that's better,
And I had no idea that he had started on He-Man, and he'd written this, and digging into my notes, I thought it was really cool. Paul Dini went to Emerson, so he's a Boston guy.
Just like you.
Yeah. You would like this. He's the son. His dad was an advertising executive. Oh. And I thought that's really cool that his roots are in advertising. He writes one of the greatest product promotions ever, which is He-Man, which is constantly pitching toys and products.
Yeah. Some would say that's the only reason it exists.
Exactly. It very much is. And what better person to kind of mine that than, you've got a very great script writer, story writer. He's written amazing projects, Tiny Toons, Batman the Animated Series.
So Tiny Toons was going to be my second of all time.
Yeah.
Between
well,
those
it's so
two.
great because it's just like they found a way to make it have a lot of the great references and kind of cerebral humor, but still appeal to kids. And it's just like there's so many references on Tiny Toons. It's wild.
What a run this guy had, and what a lock he had over animation in
totally
the early to mid 90s. Tiny Toons was incredible. Those are probably the top. Look, there's we're not going to derail by talking about what the best animated series of all time are, but those are definitely 2 of the top 10.
And the total the timing of both of those was perfect. He got animated series, I think 92, 93, and then Tiny Toons was a year or 2 later. So he has 2 of the biggest animated projects out there running concurrently, leading up until I think he goes into Superman. But something I thought was really fun is when he was in college, he was writing scripts for Filmation. That's how he got into this. And I was looking at I got to dig into my notes. In '84, he was hired by George Lucas, so he has a connection to Star Wars. And it's like our He-Man and Star Wars connections keep coming back and forth. And then later on in 2007, he helps develop Clone Wars, which was the best Star Wars.
Okay, see, I didn't know that. Okay,
yeah, I thought that was really cool. I didn't know that either, and it's it kind of makes sense. I feel like if there's anything animated and it's got a great storyline, Paul Dini's got his hands involved in it. Is
Mr. Dini, is he still alive?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's
60, well, if you happen to be be Mr. Dini,
yes,
give us a call. We'd love to work with you.
Give us a call. We love
I don't know on
fans.
what, but we'll talk to you. That'd be great. That's amazing. Yeah. So here we are. So Teela's Quest, written by Paul Dini. Oh, you're also bearing the lead a bit. Paul Dini created probably what many people don't. Well, I'm sure fans understand this was a character created for the show. But
Harley Quinn.
Harley Quinn. Yeah. As if you were to ask people to list 3 Batman characters, they'd say Batman, Joker, and Harley Quinn probably would be the third. I would have at this point
absolutely.
in time. Between Joker and Suicide Squad and all that stuff. So just created for the cartoon. So that goes to show you that you can create amazing characters just for the the cartoon spin-off and have them join the canon. And
a character that was so good on the cartoon that she became canon and now has taken off in her own right in her own animated series. So big ups to Paul Dini. Here's his sort of big break as a writer.
Here's his break.
His fingerprints are all over this episode. I really, really like this episode. It's got a lot of interesting feels and heart to it, and we'll get to that as we dive in.
Well, let's get into it. Marshall Moore, the director, was one of these Filmation guys who just did a bunch of these. We open up on a crazy ass star field, which I always love to see. It's like someone is flying through these. Asteroids in a very are you familiar with the term cassette futurism?
No, but I love it because I feel like I get an idea of it.
It's basically these buttons in the background and like the whole like 80s and the vibe of like it's the future, but the future what we can imagine from 1983. It basically
it's like projecting what it would be. Like this felt very much like the heavy metal cartoon movie. Like that opening, I just really love that.
Aeon Flux is like the last gasp of cassette futurism, but basically like we can see ahead to the future when we're traveling in space, but we still have these very analog systems with like tapes and reels to reels and all that. And I heard this mentioned for the first time yesterday. I'm here for this genre. I want to create something for that genre.
It's
and we're seeing it.
I love that combination of, like you said, that analog future. Like even Star Trek, where they've got those, I think it was like cassette memory decks that they're sliding in and slotting in. You see it in 2001 when they're taking out the memory stacks for HAL. I love
one's
that.
A perfect. That's like the quintessential beginning of it. Or like what's the other, like George Lucas, the THX or whatever that is. Like what's his first movie?
Yeah. THX.
I might be getting the name wrong. THX. Right. All of that stuff. Star Wars too. It's like I might be mistaken, but I have a distinct memory of like, of Han Solo when he's firing, or no, I guess he's driving and Luke is firing. I have a distinct memory of the laser cannon spitting out shells. Like I might be wrong about that, and some Star Wars nerd might correct me, but like that kind of sense of like, it's the future, but we're still doing everything by hand.
Yeah.
Arguably better than where we are or where we are headed, where everything is digital and there's no tactile component to it, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're starting off on a really cool cassette futurism, and we see an Earth pilot. She is Marlena Glenn.
Yeah. Who is our Queen of Eternia.
We don't know this yet. So this is really interesting.
Yeah.
And what's strange about this is that this is, like, right off the bat, we're getting, like, an origin story episode for what ends up being a couple different characters, starting with Captain Glenn.
Right. Yeah.
She's caught in a cosmic storm, swept off course, stuck in the middle of an asteroid shower. I also noticed there's, like, a chessboard in her cockpit there, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, were we talking about that, sort of a nod to the chessboard? Was that from Star Wars that becomes
probably.
A recurring? I was curious about that as a trope in other fantasy worlds, if they're trying to make their world part of a connected universe, or they just like that trope so much. But I love this trope of like the lost human earthling. It made me think of like episodes of The Twilight Zone where they go through and they reach a far very advanced futuristic society, and this is cool because as a kid you're watching this and you're like, wait a minute, He-Man is actually connected to Earth, and like maybe there's an Eternia that's out there, and I like that kind of like escapism.
Really, what's interesting about this episode is because we're starting off with this, and we didn't really meet Queen Marlena in the last episode. She was in it. I mean, I guess I'm not too worried about it because kids will watch these things in any order, but it's a little strange maybe that we're starting right off with who this character is because we haven't met her. Really. She had maybe like a line in the last episode or something like that, but she is an Earthling. Also, what's a little strange, and we won't go off on this tangent too long, but like she's the only pilot. She's the only person on this ship. Like that seems a little bizarre too, right? I kind of want to know the details of like how she got this far off, how she got 1 million miles from home, but she's the only person on board. Seems odd. I don't know. What's the backstory there? Did she kill everyone else? I want to know more about Captain Glenn. But anyway, she goes to land on a planet, which we immediately realize is Eternia because only Eternia and Dr. Seuss land have these weird-ass blue rocks / trees. I don't know what they are.
Yeah.
In True Filmation, we see her already crashed because it would be too expensive to show the crash.
Yep.
And then we cut to Adam and Queen Marlena watching her memories, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Thanks to Man-at-Arm's memory projector, and now we know, that Adam is half Earth human and half Eternian.
Yeah.
And obviously humans and Eternians can mate, right? So that's now canon.
You're right.
Which is really interesting also, to your point. Like, they have to be evolutionarily sort of similar.
So similar, connected somehow. And this is cool because this sets up, later on when we have He-Man the movie, them coming to Earth. That works in that universe because there is a connection
It's not
to Earth.
uncanon, let's say
it's not uncanon, right?
And I believe, if I'm correct, I believe in the He-Man and She-Ra Christmas special, there's also an Earth connection. Like some kids from Earth come to tell them about Earth Christmas.
Right. Earth Christmas,
Which
is a very 80s trope. We need to find an explanation to work into a Christmas episode. And what is the true meaning of Christmas, even on Eternia, you know?
Exactly. But, I mean, does this mean that, like, so for them to be able to mate, one of, like, three things statistically has to be true, right? Either, like, the universe is so very, very populated that many, many planets are habitated and they can all coexist with humans and we can all mate, which is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Or that Earth was settled by Eternia. Or vice versa, I guess, like Ancient Aliens kind of thing. So it's interesting.
That's what I was thinking. Is like maybe that's the thing, sort of X-Files,
the guy with the hair, Eric Von Daniken kind of thing going on here.
Everything's connected.
Yeah, but that's interesting. She thinks Earth is boring. No giant green tigers. Who we see there. There's Adam in his pink little thing and his page boy haircut and his lavender tights, like always.
Lavender tights.
Yeah.
We have to have him be the absolute epitome of dainty femininity before he becomes raging virile.
Yeah. So then Teela comes in. She's looking for Adam. She's going to lecture him, right? Where were you this afternoon? Meanwhile, the Queen is sort of pining over Earth, but not really. You know, she kind of likes her life here. There's lazy Adam. She wants to know where he was. He was supposed to run through combat maneuvers. Yeah. He
was busy buying shoes, which I will get to. There, you can't really see it here, but later on in the episode, I highlighted He-Man Prince Adam debuts his ugly purple Uggs.
There they are. Well, actually... Yeah, and we see what he was doing. He was sort of sleeping and fishing at the same time because she puts the memory thing on it, which is totally not fair.
Yeah.
So he's got no excuse.
His big disappointment is, I fell asleep and I didn't catch any fish. Not the embarrassment of not doing combat training maneuvers, but hey, when you can bust out into He-Man, who needs training?
All right, now we're in the tool shop. And here we have Orko. There he is. He's fucking around. He's about to find out. He's playing with the toolbox, drinking a juice. And of course, we know Man-at-Arms is going to come in because he always does.
Yeah, always comes in because he's screwing around with Man-at-Arms tools. Oh, and this is where he's working on. He's going to make his music box.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man-at-Arms comes in. He knows something's wrong.
Also gotta love how we have two versions of Man-at-Arms in this episode. We have our current Man-at-Arms, who is very much the Burt Reynolds of Eternia. Yeah. And then in order to show the past, what do? We just remove his mustache.
Remove his mustache, exactly.
Yeah, which I guess is... Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Orko built a bomb.
Yeah, he built a music box. What did he use? He used parts from the explosives box. That's for our bombs. Of course.
Yeah.
Of course Orko would just...
But also, label your stuff, Man-at-Arms. Label your tools. I mean, maybe they are labeled. But he throws it in water, and in water, it's a music box for whatever reason. Yeah. I don't get how this works.
I was like, this is this big setup. Is this going to be setting up an arc that Orko is actually not incompetent? Because we're like, here he actually did build a working music box. And then we find out 3 seconds later, if you move it somewhere else, it is disastrous result.
Yeah, I think it's more that he's a terrorist.
Yes. He is a terrorist. They've set him up. That's why you can never see his face. He's always got those dark robes.
He's got the
and the mask,
like a balaclava on, because it's he's going Luigi Mangione.
Yeah, if he takes the balaclava off, Eternia, whatever ICE will deport him to ECE.
Yeah. Anyway, Orko skedaddled, and Teela's thinking about the Queen and her own mom. She's getting all emo about her missing mom.
Yeah.
And here we get some backstory. We are led to believe before this that Man-at-Arms is Teela's father, but he says right here, no, I'm not your dad. He gave his life in battle. And he adopted her as his own daughter.
Which I think is a really cool thing. Cool. And maybe this was just something, like growing up in the 80s, I felt like this episode, it doesn't feel like, I think this is an interesting way to connect kids with, like, different, we were talking about this, like, diversity, and you have this moral that's set up that we're kind of putting the seeds in there that Man-at-Arms, though he's not your biological father, he's raised you all his life, he's, like, very dedicated to you, and we're setting up how important it, because all of her early memories, she can't remember what it was, but her very first memories are him. And like her life connected to him, and you know, I love the feels in this episode. We'll get to that when we get to the end, because I feel like this is a really, you know, it could be potentially very cheesy, but I thought it had a really interesting core and subject thing that they're doing in their development. And like you said, you set up so many characters' backstory in one episode. Yeah,
which is like, for a kid's cartoon, you don't really even need to set up backstories if you don't
want to.
You know, like we never learn we never learn why Shaggy is so high all the time. It's just like, you know, we never.
He just is. He just loves those cookies.
But you're right.
Here, this is so interesting to give you. It's such a mature thing to be like, here's this emotional depth of these characters, and I just thought this was such a, going back and watching this, because I hadn't seen this episode since I was a kid, I was like, wow, this is really interesting.
It is interesting.
And you know, humane and adult, and just like, I see themes in this episode in so many of the Batman stories. Which I really feel like this is a connection that Paul Dini really likes to.
Well, the orphan thing.
Yeah, the orphan thing, right?
So here's the question I would want to know from Mr. Dini. When you're listening, give us a call, Mr. Dini. But what was Teela an orphan before you got involved? Was that part of the show Bible, or did you put that in because that's your particular axe to grind or cross to bear or whatever? I don't know.
Yeah.
But you're right. This very much is making the conceit that it's not the father at arms who conceives you, it's the father at arms who raises you that counts. So that's where we are. And so she puts on the memory bandana here, which I kind of want. That would be pretty cool. And she watches her memories, and she sees Man-at-Arms. Her mom is a secret. She somehow remembers being a baby and being lifted up by Man-at-Arms, but remembers unmustachioed Man-at-Arms teaching her how to shoot.
Man-at-Arms.
It was pretty good. And he taught her all the manners of the royal court, which is interesting, but she has no memories of her mom, you know?
Yeah. Man-at-Arms doing double duty, being both the daddy and the mom, teaching her the matters of the court as well as to be, you know, a warrior.
Yeah, now, of course, we don't know
hats off to Mr. Mom.
If Attorney is quite so heteronormative about that, but I don't know. But yeah, anyway, Orko comes in. You know, she's sad. It's rare we see people sad in these cartoons.
Oh, yeah, totally. Sad. They're always just kind of like, oh, there's evil. Let's go fight it. And then, we did it. But it's like, this is something I felt like it was dealing with a lot more emotional development, psychological development in a cartoon, which I was like, wow, that's interesting.
That is interesting. And then she has the idea of going to the Oracle of the Crystal Sea, which sounds dope. It sounds like a store that you'd find in downtown Salem, like a storefront.
Oh, 100%.
Like, I'm going to go visit the Oracle of the Crystal Sea.
You know what? We have a Sea Witch store here. That is the name of it. I got to go. For the next episode, I'll find that.
There you go. But then Orko says...
crystals everywhere.
But the Oracle's cave is surrounded by shadow beasts and monsters, which also sounds like a thing that you'd see in Salem. So there you go.
Yeah, Shadow Beast. That sounds like that should be a band that is playing at Kodo this weekend.
I would hardcore go see Shadow Beast.
I would see the hell out of Shadow Beast.
I don't know what kind of music Shadow Beast is.
Some sort of like German metal band.
Yeah, German like dark synth something.
Totally.
I'll go see it. We can find tickets.
Oh yeah, we should make T-shirts in addition to our Shadow Beast.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're in the space garage, and Tia takes off. Oh, Adam's actually doing like mechanical work, which is interesting.
For once.
And look at the way he's standing there, like his neck.
Also, I was just gonna say, look at his neck. His neck. I circled it. I was like, what is up with his neck? Somebody does it. It's like Rob Liefeld was animating. It's like, I'm no good at necks. Can we put a tie on him? No tie. And it's just like, well, he's gonna look weird.
He's gonna look weird. Let's put some thigh pockets on him.
Oh my God, he needs that Beastman cowl to make his neck and shoulders look normal.
Maybe that's what that was for. It's like people were just having difficulty with the proportions between the shoulder. Yeah, that's like it's something weird, and something about the turn of the head. It's like it's too much, Adam.
Yeah, we'll fix it in post, and they never did.
Okay, then Orko shows up. Don't worry, Teela can look out for herself, and he tells her
well, I'm not going to tell you, but,
Crystal C.
let me blurt out, Crystal C, what?
See, the Crystal C doesn't sound so bad, right? Like,
that
doesn't
sounds like
the
a
scariest.
cool, hip place to, Crystal
like compared
C,
to like
is like
Snake
the most
Mountain
mellow.
or the
Yeah,
Fright
exactly.
Zone.
You got Snake Mountain, Terror Village, Crystal C. Oh, Jesus. That's even dangerous for Teela. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Cringer immediately, oh God, are you going to have to turn me into Battle Cat? And it's like, well, yeah, only Battle Cat can track her.
What the fuck are we going to do, He-Man? And then 8:50 in, this is when we have our change. So I have the power. Happens for the first time at 8:50. Very good. That's going to buy us 20 seconds while we change Cringer and ourselves.
Also, I have to notice, like, with his headgear on, he's got that, like, snout mask. How is that going to help him track any better? Maybe is it just the cocaine pouch that's clearly inside there?
It's just like always distributes every 5 seconds. Now we have Snake Mountain. Okay, and I love our establishing shots of Snake Mountain. There's our H.R. Geiger chair. He's with Merman. He's watching on his perv crystal ball.
And this is the only instance we see Skeletor, I think, in this episode. It's like maybe 20 seconds. Right?
Yeah.
Because then the rest, interestingly enough, this is all about Merman, this episode, setting up his backstory.
Yeah, that's really interesting, too, because like, Merman, Merman is like one of those characters that, like, he just completely, I always forget about Merman. Even though he's like one of the quintessential ones, it's just like sort of like, what does Merman do? Besides like have his way with dolphins, like what does he actually do? And here we get his backstory. He has beef. He has beef with Teela because Man-at-Arms did something. Something with the sea demon, right? And he demands revenge. And Skeletor's like, sure, I don't have anything else to do in this episode. Why don't you go be the bad guy, Merman? I'm good with that. So now we're in the Crystal Sea, which is not a sea. Which just has crystals in it, I guess.
Yeah, it looks very much, don't plagiarize Fortress of Solitude. It is very much like 100% Fortress of Solitude.
And she says,
maybe this might be one of those risque moments. If we forgot, there's nothing.
I did not mean to pause here.
I did not know.
I meant to pause here because she says it's not the prettiest place I've ever seen, or ever been. But
I disagree. That is the prettiest place I have ever seen.
Yeah, it's kind of nice. I could see setting up.
Oh, I thought we were talking about her. Yes, the location is gorgeous, but also. Well paused, my friend.
Yeah, well, there you go. But they really did they really did give her a butt and some haunches here. And this is one of those things, maybe a little inappropriate, because who is this for? Is this not for 6-year-olds? But again, I guess 6-year-olds like this and think it's kind of fun and kind of funny.
Well, maybe we've been showing too much of He-Man's haunch.
Yeah.
That we need to, be
but they do
equitable.
Make Teela just a little bit sexier than she needs to be for a kid's cartoon. I will point out that. But I guess they're trying to be equal opportunity,
Well, as Andrew Daly would say, there's always got to be something for Daddy.
Yeah, that's right. There's something for Daddy. Oh, there's a Shadow Beast.
The Shadow Beast, which I wrote in my notes, just like Shadow Beast look, 10 out of 10 scary. It's like an ape with like a horn fringe. And then they make their noise just to hear their...
Well, there was that sick keytar again, like... And then let's take a listen to that Shadow Beast noise.
Which is the least scary. In my notes... scary look, 10 out of 10. Scary sound, -2. And you're about to hear why, because it sounds like it is like a chicken or a baby eagle squawk.
Yeah, it's not scary. I will give it that. For something so large.
I mean, these things look terrifying.
They're really cool.
Awesome.
They're really cool. But then she pretty much oh, the commercial break, obviously. How are we going to deal with these Shadow Beasts? Well, they are Shadow Beasts, right? They just break her staff.
Yeah. And maybe this would be a time for Teela to...
So we learn that Teela has, flash grenades, basically.
Yeah,
and
beads of force.
And they're not as big as they look at first, because they, Okay,
and then we see... they're, repelled by light. And I'm like, it looks like you're... run around during the daytime, so these things should be pretty...
Oh, good point.
Pretty weak, but...
Good point. But I guess bright light.
bright light. They're mogwais. They're genetically
Yes.
engineered mogwais.
Maybe that's what happens when gremlins take their final form. Is they this was a year before Gremlins though, so I don't know. Okay, now she's at the cave. She's found the way to the Oracle's cave, and the Oracle is an old hippie inside a ball.
He's an old hippie. As I said, he is every airbrushed wizard on the side of a van that you saw in the 70s and 80s.
Oh man, absolutely.
It is Wizard David Carradine. And hey, young man of arms, sans mustache.
I feel like I feel like the Oracle's gonna sell me some skunk weed.
Exactly.
In back of the Foghat concert or something.
Back of the Foghat concert. I put in my notes, it's like he's scalping tickets to the Grateful Dead.
Yeah.
Hey, Teela, you got any gas money? I really got to get to Eugene, Oregon.
So there's this weird backstory where Merman is going to sacrifice something with his merfolk to the
his
evil sea demon.
Yes.
And there's a baby in the nest being protected by Zor, who's, of course, we know the sorceress. Yeah, and, here comes Zor, and, distracts, throws the spear down. Man-at-Arms is also trying to stop this at the same time. His Mer-dudes. Why do the Mer-dudes look so different from Merman? You'd think that they're
right. They look like those Octoroks from Zelda.
But there's that dart.
This is the dart that I was telling you about. This is my favorite product. It is like he has the Eternity equivalent of lawn darts, because it looks like a little wimpy ass dart, and he throws it up there, and it just smotes everyone. I'm like, why is it Man-at-Arms using that instead of that weird ass mace of his?
Yeah, he just hits people with a bumpy mace. Like that
bumpy
thing's
mace.
cool.
Or I've got this seriously dope I don't know, maybe it's one of those one-use magic items.
Maybe he only had one and now it's gone. Like he bought it. Yeah, it's a firework. So he bought it at the Pennsylvania border, but he doesn't have anymore. He's not going back there anytime soon. But yeah,
exactly.
But Merman swears to defeat and get even with. That seems like something that's like, just bring a different sacrifice, Merman. It's not like a big deal. Like, you're Merman. You're the king of the sea. Right?
Yeah. Get him some steaks, man. Like, whatever.
Yeah.
David Carradine's about to give us a big update.
Oh, he stops. He sees evil coming. Oh! There's a Mer thing. Yeah. Demon's coming. Okay, so now we're commercial break. He-Man's still at the rescue. He's just kind of sitting there thinking. And then we're back to the sea cave. Merman has captured Teela. It seems like, honestly,
every time I see him,
his
mouth just makes me think of Homer Simpson. Like he is.
You're right. There's something. Right? There's something.
He's the proto Homer Simpson.
Yeah.
In another life, we ruled the seas, and then we crawled up onto land and became the Simpsons.
He's got a very special destiny for her. I do feel like Merman should have gotten over this by now, but I don't. That might just be me.
Also, I do find it wild that like this episode is all about Merman as the villain instead of Skeletor, and they do a lot of interesting development.
It. I like that.
Yeah, no, I think it's cool. Like we get a little more depth instead of being just the sidekick. But also he's like doing rituals and magic and spell. Like I just thought he liked to rustle around and molest fish, and now he's got like a whole.
He's got a whole thing.
He's got a whole thing.
Yeah. You got Mer to you, Merman.
Mer to ya. I love it.
Okay, He-Man gets to the cave. He talks to David Carradine, who tells him that Teela's been captured. Battle Cat gets the scent.
Gets the scent from his Coke mask, and he's like, which maybe, granted, it shouldn't be too hard to smell a giant mer creature.
That's true. That's true. Three of them, yeah. So now we learn that this is the perfect time to summon a sea demon, because the stars come in perfect alignment. Which kind of actually...
I've got my little gumdrop.
Which kind of tells us that Teela is 21, because or thereabouts, because she was a baby the last time that he was trying to summon the sea demon. So there you go. Roughly speaking. He said that it comes every 20 years. So anyway, he's got this crimson pearl, and it...
Very Clash of the Titans moment here. Like it felt like I was curious if this came out before the movie.
No, Clash of the Titans came out first. Yeah.
Okay, because this seemed like such an homage. Like everything in this setting,
the Kraken,
the scenario, the Kraken. Although when it's finally summoned, I'm expecting this. If it's a sea demon, this
make it look like a sea demon.
Make it look like a sea demon, and he's big, but not quite the Kraken level.
Not so fast. He-Man is there. Oh, well, here's a wall. And I think He-Man's going to burst through that wall if I'm not mistaken. But now back cool. I hate Merman's voice.
Yeah, gotta love his voice. So
it kills me. I can't deal with it. It makes me sick. Again, that's the situation where the Lou Scheimer, the executive producer, did like all of the voices that weren't He-Man or whatever. So there you go. Battle Cat has a good idea. Let's make a tunnel. And so He-Man does it with his arms and his fists. A big bubble comes out, which is, Merman's happy about that.
He's excited. Someone's about to release the Kraken.
Yeah.
And here it is.
We've got those spasming mer guys.
Those weird frogletites.
Yeah, frogletites.
Like, it's like such worthless henchmen.
They just run off. They're like, this is not worth it. And here's Baku, and honestly...
kind of a little underwhelming. You expect this massive creature, but I don't know.
He's not big.
He looks like he's got sea sideburns. I was going to say, this was a cool moment. He-Man can throw his sword, perfectly.
I mean, but he can throw it with, like, substantial aim, That's
right?
pretty cool. You're right.
Moments
here
of
he goes. Boom! Yeah, you should do that more often. And perfectly cut the rope. And that stymied Bakul, who's just really a big red frog fish guy. There's nothing all that interesting. But he is under the control of Merman.
And he does have those weird mutton chops.
He's got like 1860s gill mutton chops. But we learned that the pearl was the only thing really controlling Baku.
Yeah.
There you go. And so now that's done, Baku is going to go after
Although he
Merman.
looks giant there. Like his hand
that's
looks
true.
Like this,
maybe he changed his shape, or maybe the animators just were lazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is giant all of a sudden. Maybe it's just a perspective thing. Oh, Merman's scared. And what does He-Man do? He helps.
I'll save you. But he saves him in a very He-Man way. I'm going to hurt you. I'm going to help you, but I'm going to hurt you.
I'll save you by throwing you somewhere else. Yeah. 100%. Then how's he going to stop Bakul? Well, he's going to use his powerful quads just to kick over the whole fucking mountain.
Never skip a leg day. I'm just going to kick a mountain over.
Which, I don't know why the Sea Demon isn't doing something right now, but there you go.
He just patiently waits to get crushed.
He looks scared. Yeah.
Oh, man.
There you go.
Yeah. Triumphant.
Another 20 years.
And here it is, He-Man risking everything to save... and he lets you know even bad guys are worth saving because
even bad guys are worth saving. Yeah, that's really interesting.
The moral,
And then she goes back to
much like that man doesn't kill.
That's true.
Paul Dini.
and then David Carradine tells the rest of the story.
Yep.
He-Man found baby Teela in the nest, and it was the sorceress's daughter. Oh wow!
Yeah.
Holy shit! The sorceress had a kid. Which I assumed like the sorceress was like a nun or something like that. So,
yeah, right.
You know,
I mean, she looks like she's got like Mother Superior look anyway.
A Vestal Virgin or something.
Yeah, right. But after her husband dies, she decides to bring her child to like a peaceful, safe place where she can raise her in the wild. But that's not safe, so they need a real place to raise her and a real family.
And that implies that there might have been like a sorcerer, a Mr. Sorceress at some point, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, so we don't get to see him. He's the guy who's a brave warrior. So
maybe he was the Oracle.
Is that David Carradine?
Yeah, maybe he's just off. Like he's like, no man, I'm in Tahoe, but here's the I left her, but that's all right. Okay. And then we see this, like, I love this moment right here. I know we have to go, but like I love how like the sorceress and Teela are having this heartfelt moment, and we keep cutting back to like like moments like that where He-Man and Battle Cat just sort of like, should we leave? Like looking back and forth at each other. Should we be? What are we doing?
Yeah.
And then she's gonna wipe her mind. So she doesn't know
after that
about
whole
this.
moment, that whole moving backstory.
The Men in Black thing. There you go.
And all she's going to remember is that she had a mother that loved her very much.
Wow.
Which really fits in with the moral wrap-up of the episode.
Yeah. Can you keep a secret? I've had lots of practice, which we know what that's about.
Yeah.
A lot of feels in this episode, like very heartbreaking. It's like, here's the reveal. You've been looking for your parents. I'm your mother. Kind of reverse Star Wars, very heartwarming. Like, you've been searching for me. I love you. But now, out of your own safety, we're going to have to wipe away that knowledge.
Right.
So all you remember is that you have a mother and that she loves you very much. And then you get that tear down the sorcerer's face, which I was like, this episode has a lot of feels in it. Like, really interesting for a kid's show. You know, and just episode 2. Like, I thought that was like a pretty big thing that we're opening up. So, yeah, lot packed into this episode.
And then everyone just kind of runs away, and that's the end. And, then we get the moral of the story, which is.
In today's story, I went in search of my mother.
This is so great. Yeah, and also I like that, you know, a moral coming from not He-Man being delivered. Like, we're kind of bringing this in, and it's like talking about basically, you know, I went looking for my mother, and the people that are your parents are the people that raise you and love you and take care of for you. So even if you don't know them, or if you don't have them in your life, you still have a family. And like, that's a really gets you in the feels. And I think that's something. I was talking to a buddy of mine the other day, you know, prepping for this episode. I was like, wow, I was really surprised at like the depth of some of the writing in this, you know, kids cartoon. But it's like, what a great thing to empower children. Like, we come back to like the mission of He-Man is all about, you know, he seems like a roided up guy, but it's all about the power is in you. And it's like, you have the power, and emphasizing that, like, you know, people love you, and like, there's strength in your community. And I'm like, man, I feel like you and they were people that were raised on these morals, and I feel like they shaped us in a very positive way.
Yeah, totally.
So, yeah.
That's great. Well, I mean, that kind of brings us to the end of this episode, and you know, like we talked about, what are the things that we talked about, the moral and so forth. But what are the other things about this episode that stick out? What's like the manliest thing?
Man,
manly moment. Let's
manly
scroll through and see what we can find.
I wanted to pull out. I mean, obviously we've got, like, He-Man doesn't skip leg day. He, you know, between a guy that is separating a cleft in the ground to, I'm going to push over a mountain to crush this sea demon. So I think leg day doing the squats. I forget what that's called with the machine. But at the end, we probably this one right here,
leg
just
press,
like, leg press
for sure.
But also the little grunt of like,
Kicking over.
Look at that! He just kind of kicks over a whole mountain, and he's just like very proud of himself. And it's like, as you should be.
So that's pretty manly. Yeah, that's like the kicking over a mountain with a sea demon on it is pretty dope. What about the Radis thing?
The raddest thing, He-Man basically, and maybe this is a Paul Beanie influence, turning into our basically Eternian Batman, when he's climbing up the cliffs.
Oh, Man at Arms.
And he's like, Man at Arms. Oh, yeah, Man at Arms. Actually, also, and I think I didn't notice it until we were talking about it, Teela has a moment of kind of like reaching into a bag of tricks. Like, this was a cool, like... Yeah,
with her little glow thing.
Her little glow globe thing that she throws. But when Man at Arms reaches up and he's climbing up and he tosses that dart, that like smoking explosive dart that just kind of smotes everybody, I was like, that's right the there. Toy. Yeah. Give me one of those. I was like, Man at Arms, cool. He has other armaments than that. The mace, dumb mace.
Yeah. Well, so that's right. So that's like a Batman utility belt, sort of fun thing. But Batman had his utility belt before the animated series, I'm pretty sure. But it just But
I just feel like I liked that sort of reaching in. Both of them had like kind of that belt or that pouch of many tricks, many things. And you know, here it is. Just also just gotta love the how do we show this was the past? He doesn't have the mustache.
Yeah. Anything cheesy or horsey or hokey in this episode? Even Orko was pretty subdued in this episode.
He made something that actually worked.
Yeah, that's true. Although it didn't come back in the story, but
it was just kind of like he's like a palate cleanser. It's almost like The Simpsons. We have that opening joke that has nothing to do with the plot, but we need to get that laugh. And I wonder if their thought is kids' psychology. We need to get them laugh, and then we'll give them a story. Like, then they'll pay attention. Like, here's this shiny object. Here's an explosion. Orko, he's wacky. And now let's
Could
get
be.
into
I will
something.
say that the noise here is cheesy, right?
Is this the screaming shadow beast? Can we kick that up? Oh my God. Yeah, that sound was the least scary. That little shrill of like it's some sort of weird chicken or bird noise. Least scary. I was like, look of the monsters, 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Sound of the monsters, -2.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
And nothing all that homoerotic, I don't think, in this one. I mean, mostly had to do with Teela's story, so it's
yeah.
all it's all good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that
no,
was kind of. Oh well, I guess maybe it's like, can you keep a secret, He-Man? And then he kind of sheepishly is like, "I've been known to keep a couple of secrets."
well,
Like,
I had
there
that
you
thought
go.
too.
I'm
It's
like,
like,
okay,
yeah,
we get
he
it.
might
We
say I
get
have
it.
a closet full of secrets, but
Yeah, he
yeah,
definitely does. A
yeah,
whole Gray Skull Mountain of
a whole
secrets.
wardrobe. But yeah, and then as far as the figure goes, like, what do you think? What do you think the figure, the most appropriate figure for this episode is?
Well, I thought it was interesting, like really showing off, characters that were sort of in the background were front ground in this
Hmm.
episode. But I really felt like I wanted a man at arms after this episode,
Oh,
like his little bag of tricks, and same with Teela. Like I wanted those accessories, the smoking explosive dart, the stun grenades. I was like, those are really cool. But I think I want a man at arms with attachable mustache. So, they have that.
that's a good
Like he goes
idea.
undercover,
That's a good
like Groucho
idea.
Marx. Maybe he just has glasses that he puts on and he's got the mustache. How could they do that?
Okay,
Uh,
let me think about how I can create a man at arms with a detachable mustache. I have another option, of course,
oh,
which is going to be the Shadow Beast.
oh, you had the Shadow Beast.
I have a Shadow Beast. He's missing a foot, but that's okay. I have a Shadow Beast from the Masters of the Universe Classics line that came out about
Yeah.
10, 15 years ago. He's big, like
Oh,
he's
yeah.
larger. Let me see if I have another.
See, I didn't think they made those, and I was like, honestly, that was the thing I would have asked because they look so dope. They've got that creepy
They
horn.
didn't. Yeah, they didn't back in the original, but like
Uh-huh.
they did this Master Universe Classics series, which is slightly larger,
Mhm.
but that's got like crazy like deep cut characters. One of them is the Shadow Beast, and you can see he's like much bigger than He-Man is.
Oh, yeah.
And because we said that that Shadow Beast would also be a sick band, I have a guitar here that the Shadow Beast comes
Hells
with.
yes, Shadow Beast is the ultimate rock band,
Yeah,
metal, probably German speed metal band from
and
Eternia.
his arms are sort of naturally in like
Yeah,
kind of
exactly.
thing.
It's
So
We are Shadow Beast and we are here to rock. And then their first song is
that's all their only songs. So there, he's holding his guitar as best he knows how, and there he is. So there's your
yes,
Shadow Beast.
yes,
And
100 times yes.
up for sale. Okay, great. So next time we will be talking about He-Man episode 3, Colossor Awakes. Until then, what do we say? May the power be with you.
May the power be with you, and also with
And
you,
also
the Catholics.
Exactly. That's what I'm doing. And also
Call
with
and response.
Castle Podskull.